It started on a sunny afternoon in a busy city square when a shocking confrontation between a black woman and several uniformed police officers turned into something that would make headlines across the nation and spark heated conversations online about race, authority, and the line between protest and criminal behavior. The woman, armed not with fists or weapons but with a spray can filled with a burning chemical solution, unleashed chaos on the police who were trying to control a tense situation. And in that one single moment her actions sealed her fate and set her on a path that would lead her from the center of attention to the cold reality of facing the consequences of her choices. And before you judge too quickly, you need to hear every detail of how it happened, because this is not just a story about a clash in the street. It is a story about pride, anger, accountability, and the heavy price one pays when emotions boil over into lawlessness. So stay with me, because the truth of what happened is far more gripping than you can imagine, and the ending will leave you stunned. The day began with the police department already on edge, because for weeks tensions had been rising between officers and members of the community. A protest had been planned and the officers were deployed to keep peace, but what no one knew was that one woman would turn the protest into a personal stage for her rage. She was described by neighbors as outspoken, proud, and often confrontational, someone who never backed down when challenged, and that fiery nature is what collided head-on with the authority of law enforcement on that fateful afternoon. She arrived at the square wearing a red jacket, her hair tied back and her expression hard as stone. Eyewitnesses say she carried a small bag with her tightly zipped, and no one suspected what was inside until the moment came when voices clashed with commands and shouts turned into shoves. That bag would become the symbol of her downfall. But let me warn you, things didn't unravel all at once. They built slowly, like a fire that starts as smoke until suddenly it bursts into flames. Police officers had formed a line in the square, some holding shields, others scanning the crowd with wary eyes. The woman pushed closer, shouting insults at the officers, daring them to arrest her, calling them names that cut deep, words designed to provoke. And at first the officers tried to ignore her, tried to keep calm, but you could see on their faces that the verbal attacks were stinging. One officer in particular, a tall man with years of experience, clenched his jaw but stayed firm in formation. Then it happened. She reached into her bag and in one swift motion pulled out a silver can and pressed the nozzle, sending a stream of burning liquid into the air. The spray hit two officers in the face. They recoiled, stumbling back, their eyes burning, their skin stinging. The crowd gasped, some cheered, others screamed in fear, and in that split second the woman grinned as if she had finally gotten the attention she wanted. But what she didn't realize was that cameras were rolling from every angle and her victory would be short-lived, because when you attack officers in broad daylight the law always comes down heavy. But before the officers could recover, she charged forward, shouting that she was tired of being silenced, tired of being oppressed, her voice echoing through the square like a battle cry. This is where things spiraled, and if you think you know how the story ends, you don't, because what followed was a chain of events that shocked not just